Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of May, 2022. I hope you and your family are healthy and safe today, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field whose job it is to save lives, along with the first responders who come also with the intention of saving lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks, and highways clean. And those that make deliveries for our convenience. And double blessings upon the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the victims of child molestation. Just in case you didn't know, that's when a grown man tries to have sex with a child. Unfortunately, it happens every day, multiple times a day in the United States and around the world. Blessings upon those trying to help those children and those trying to rescue them from pedophilia, which is the general term for that act. And those victims of prostitution who oftentimes started out as children, and child prostitution, and pornography, and child pornography, and human trafficking, and sex slavery. And double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts that traffic in human misery. Finally, blessings upon those that are homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and again, children on the streets of the United States of America with no roof over their head, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, no matter what color, no matter what religion, for theirs is the kingdom. So today, I want to discuss a couple things. First of all, general announcement. 7:45 tonight, we're going to go live. And we're going to cover the NBA draft lottery. We're going to find out where the Knicks pick. Really and truly, all I care about is where the Knicks pick and who picks ahead of them. Why? Because who picks ahead of them will show us the likelihood of what players will be left when the Knicks pick. Okay, so that's really, I don't really care what happens after 11 unless the Knicks trade down. I'm only caring about what happens at 11 or before. The likelihood of the Knicks drafting at 12 is small, but it's possible. But I'm going to just talk by faith and say they're not drafting any lower than 11. And so we'll go with that. So we're talking about the teams that pick at 11, which is more than likely New York, 77% chance, or before 11. So that will help us determine what the Knicks are going to have available at 11. Now, today I want to discuss the possibility of the Knicks trading their pick. The possibility of them trading their pick. Now, everything, again, goes back to one foundation. And this is the key thing for me that I would wish a lot of Knicks Nation understood. And in fact, I guess I'm going to need, and maybe Knicks Nation is going to need, another statement, which we're probably not going to get from the front office about what? The direction of the team. What is the direction of the team? What is the plan? Now, we heard verbally and in writing Leon Rose say there's going to be a commitment to the young core. We heard that. Okay. Now, what threw a lot of people off, and even myself was a little confused, is that he counted Julius Randle as the young core because Julius Randle is 27. But Julius Randle is an 8-year veteran in the NBA. So by counting him as the young core, that leaves open the possibility that they may be moving forward with him, although it makes no sense to move forward with him if you drafted Obi Toppin. And some of you guys brought up a point by saying, well, if we go draft a power forward, that would put us in the same position as we did with Obi and Julius. And I say, no, it won't. And the reason I say that is because let's say we drafted Jabari Smith. Let's say we got Jabari Smith Jr. or Chet Holmgren or Paolo Banchero. Let's say we got one of those guys. First of all, they're going to play. See, that's the thing. That's the difference between an Obi Toppin and Julius Randle situation with that situation. Unlike Obi, they're not going to be paying no 8 minutes a game. They're top 4 pick. They're going to play. Obi's going to start. They're going to trade. In that scenario, they're trading Julius Randle. And that other pick, whether it be Banchero, Holmgren, or Jabari Smith, are going to come off the bench behind Obi, but they're going to get 15 minutes a game at least. Other than like Obi was getting 8, they're going to get 15 to 20 minutes a game. Okay? And so that's a different scenario than Obi's. All right. And then you'll say, well, what if they get really good? What if they're a stud? Well, then it's a good problem to have. And we'll have to trade somebody. But I'd like to deal with that problem. And so in other words, we get Jabari Smith and he becomes the second coming of like Elvin Hayes or something. Okay. Then Obi would have to be traded. But we'll deal with that when we deal with it. Right. In his first 2 seasons, whoever that guy is, he's going to get some minutes. He's not going to languish on the bench and get DMPs like Obi did. Okay. He's going to play. So that being the case, and if it was Chet Holmgren, right, him coming off the bench is probably the perfect scenario for him so that he doesn't get hurt. Okay. So you play him 20 minutes or less and we know we're going to have him for 82 games versus trying to start him and play him 30 minutes and he gets hurt after 40 games. See? So I don't mind those scenarios. And if one of them, like I said, becomes a stud, somebody that's just like too good to sit, we'll deal with that. Okay, we trade Obi and get some more first round picks. I'm with that. See, right now, this is the problem we have. The Knicks set up Julius Randle to be the man on this team. Y'all got to understand that. He was signed to be the man. And in his mind, he is the man. And that's the problem. He's not that type of player. And as long as he plays the game and has an attitude like he's the man, it's going to hold back the whole team. Y'all don't understand that. Some of y'all just look at the 2010 stats and say, we got to keep him. No, not if it's subtraction makes us a better team. That's what we're looking at. Because he still believes he's the man and he won't believe anything else unless he's traded to another team. He's not going to believe anything else. And Thibodeau is what do you call that? When you help somebody that shouldn't be getting that type of help, enabler. He's an enabler in that scenario. He's an enabler. Okay. So we got to find out for sure what the direction of the team is. And this is the thing I don't want. And I want to push this to y'all, Knicks, especially y'all out here, the cheerleaders for Julius Randle. Look, either you commit to a full rebuild or you don't. Don't do it half-assed. That's why we were middling this past season. It was a half-assed rebuild. They put Kemba Walker on the team for a 2-year deal, which means they never intended for him to be the long-term solution at point guard. And then you now have Tom Thibodeau trying to decide should he play because Tom Thibodeau didn't want him. Then he decides to put Alec Burks at the point guard. See, this is the type of crap you don't need. You drafted point guards. You have to find out what you have. Play them. Never mind trying to find a Jalen Brunson or Davion Mitchell or whoever the hell. Get the 2 dudes that you drafted to play. And let's see what they got. We're not winning the chip next year. Let's see what they got. Now, if you're going to commit to a full rebuild, well, they're going to commit to it. Play all your youth and play them hard. And that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. That's what I've been thinking. For him to talk about the young core, you can't be starting Alec Burks at the point guard. You got Emmanuel Quickly and Deuce McBride. Let's see what we got. Period. And we ain't in no financial trouble. The Knicks are in good financial shape. They got a whole bunch of expiring deals. So it's not a problem. So, but we have to establish that that's what we're going to do. You can't say we need to go get a veteran and then going to tell me we rebuilding. That don't work. So if you're not committing to a rebuild, well, they're going to go ahead and get your veterans and let's go then. Get the whole shot for somebody. That's what y'all want to do if you want to do that. See, some of y'all, and then the Knicks Nation, some of y'all seem to think that Utah is just going to give away Donovan Mitchell. You're going to have to clean your cupboards to get that, brother. Don't you understand that? You're going to be left with two guys. Of all of these guys we got, you're going to be left with two. They're going to be trading away everything and everybody else. And y'all think, because some of y'all giving me these NBA 2K trades like you think Utah going to just give them away. Some of y'all just straight delusional, man. No, they're not doing that. Don't care what Donovan Mitchell wants. He under contract. Y'all need to understand that. He under contract. He ain't going nowhere. They paying him. Okay? So, stop the delusion with these dumb trades, man. If we got, would you trade so? The hell, man? No. Utah ain't doing that. They ain't stupid. You know Danny Ainge over there, right? Anyway, we got to decide what we're doing. So now, let's talk about, speaking of that, what if the Knicks traded the pick? Under what scenarios, under what guise would they be doing that? Okay? Well, under what guise? There are three that I can think of. Three scenarios whereby they would be trading their pick. They're trading their pick if they get a higher, like they're in the top four and they don't want any of the guys, and they are trading that pick to go get two picks. Let's say they're going to trade that to Oklahoma to get Oklahoma 7 and whatever, 12, whatever they got, right? That's the scenario. So in other words, they'd be trading their pick to go get more picks that where they can feel like they still can get a player that's going to help them, in the future. That's a scenario I could see them trading a pick, right? So if you wanted to get Oklahoma City's 4 and 12 for the number 1 pick, okay, you do that. Or you wanted to get, who else? Who else has it? I think it was Portland. Portland has 6 and they have another one somewhere. Y'all tell me. I know y'all in a hurry to be right, so some of y'all gonna tell me. But Portland got 2 picks somewhere, so you might trade your number 1 for Portland's 2 picks, right? Okay, something like that. But that's a scenario where they might trade a pick. If they found 2 players they like and somebody's picks are in the range of those players, San Antonio, Portland, Charlotte got a couple of picks. Charlotte got 13. Charlotte got 13. They got 15. So if you thought you could get a player that you liked in that scenario, they might trade a pick, okay, to get multiple picks. That's the first scenario. The second one is if they're trying to move a player that might be difficult to move otherwise. So if they wanted to move Julius Randle, they would trade their pick, the 11th pick, and Julius Randle for something. Okay, if they wanted to move Julius Randle, they could trade it for another pick. Let's say they traded 11 and Julius, and they were looking for Indiana's 5th pick. They wanted Ben Mathurin, right? They want Indiana's 5th pick. That's something that they might do. Okay, so either A, they're trying to get multiple picks, or B, they're trying to move a player that might be otherwise difficult to move by offering their pick with the player. C, they don't want to pick anybody. They want to go with veterans. So they're going to trade the pick, trade it with some youth, and try to get somebody's star. Try to get DeJounte Murray. Try to get, they might trade Obi and the 11th pick and somebody else, Obi and Grimes and the 11th pick for somebody. I hope they don't do that. But that's another scenario whereby, and again, it depends what is the plan. What is the foundational plan? Every winning organization, and I emphasize winning, has one. What is your plan? Now, I tend to think based on the commentary from Leon that they're going to go younger. I think he mentioned Julius Randle just to keep his value up. That's what I think. I think he was being positive on Julius publicly to keep his value high. Because Julius hurt his value this past season. He really did. He hurt his value with all of his antics, his attitude particularly hurt his value. And what do I mean? It means that to me, I can sell him to another team saying he just can't handle New York, but he's very talented. And I think most teams would buy that. He just can't handle Madison Square Garden, but he can still play. Okay, so I might try to sell Julius on that type of rap. Okay, starting with that basis. And I think that's why he was saying Julius is part of the young core. And also Tom Thibodeau trumpeted that same BS. I think they're trying to keep his value as high as they can. With regard to Mitchell Robinson, they have to sign him. And I got another perspective on the Mitch Rob situation. I was thinking about this yesterday. What if they offered Mitch 55.6? What if he said, I want to see what I get in the open market? And what if they said, okay, we'll match whatever you can get on the open market. And we'll work with it from there. What if that was the case? What if they decided we're going to sign him? It's just a matter of how much. And then in that scenario, you'd have to get another team that was willing to overpay for Mitch. Okay. You'd have to get another team that's willing to overpay for him. Now, what teams would overpay? I don't know a lot of teams that would really want to overpay for Mitch or anybody. I mean, just in the NBA environment right now, in the NBA environment, it is not popular for poison pill contracts to overpay for players. It's just not popular right now. So you got the Pistons. Okay. They're trying to get off of Jeremy Grant's contract. Now, they could overpay for Mitch. They could. But I don't think they will. I think they're smarter than that. Oklahoma City could overpay for Mitch. They could, because they need a 5. They need a legit 5 to run with SGA and Josh Giddey. And Mitch is perfect. So there's a chance, unless Mitch don't want to go there, but if they're offering him some crazy money, he might. Okay. Then you got San Antonio, who also needs a 5. Okay. They need a 5. And I'm not saying the 5 they got, Pirtle, is a scrub, but I'm just saying he ain't Mitch Rob. And so, that's another one. Dallas needs a 5, but Dallas ain't got the money. They can't overpay. They already in luxury tax. They're trying to go all in, but they'd have to give up some salaries, give up some things. There's a lot of, it could be done, but it will be a very hard move. Very difficult for them to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very, very difficult for them to do that. Very difficult. Okay. So I don't think that's likely. So, really you're limited. And remember, DeAndre Ayton's going to be on the open market. He feels disrespected by the Suns. Now that's another, be honest with you, more times than not, that's another ploy to get more money out of your hometown team. But Phoenix may not be buying it, but we'll see what happens. He's going to be on the open market. So he's going to be at a higher price than Mitch Rob. Okay. And it's not because he's better than Mitch Rob. It's because he's coming from a winning program. He's been in NBA finals. He's shown he could play at a high level in big games. And so he's going to command more money. Some team's going to pay him. That's going to help Mitchell Robinson. Okay. So to me, there's a strong chance that Mitch Rob stays in New York for $55.6 million, 4 years, 55.6. I think that'll happen. And that'll be the foundation of the contract, like how many guaranteed years and what type of incentives will be in the contract. That's another thing. They'll be working all of that details out, but I believe that that's the case. I think the Knicks are pretty confident and they want him back and he wants to stay back, but he wants to make sure, as he should, that he gets every dollar that he can. Okay. That he gets every dollar that's coming to him. And so that's, I think, the scenario. I think Mitch Rob stays in New York. So I'd be shocked if that doesn't happen, but I think I don't think it's a matter of them offering him 44 and him saying 55.6. I think they probably said 55.6 and he probably said, let me see what I could get before I take that. I think that's more likely the scenario. I don't think they're playing games with Mitch Rob. I don't think Leon Rose is that stupid. I think he's smarter than that. So let's see. But I'm pretty sure Mitch Rob will be back. So if we can get Mitchell Robinson back, that opens up a lot of doors for us. So that changes a lot because now you got the anchor on the defense. You got Jericho Sims as your backup. We don't even need to look at 5s or talk about 5s anymore. That's what I'm saying. Some of y'all are still stubborn enough to be talking about, we need Jalen Duren. Oh, we can get Mark Williams. The hell with them. We got Mitch Rob. I'm with Mitch Rob. The hell with them. That's the way I look at it. I'm a Knicks fan. We drafted Mitchell Robinson. Really good teams that long-term sustainable win, keep the players they draft. We drafted Mitchell Robinson. We developed him. I want him on my team. Period. Okay? So y'all can go with your Jalen Durans and your Mark Williams, and y'all can trip out on something Kessler, what? Walker Kessler, whatever the hell. Come on, man. What are you, crazy? Please. Some of y'all, I don't know, man. Maybe, what is it? You like his smile? What is it? Cause I don't see it. I don't understand. Some that, he's a late lottery guy. But come on, stop. I told y'all. Stop. If you want to get a 5, if you were in this draft, Duran and Williams are your guys. But if you're not, come on, stop with the Kessler, man. I'm not saying he is scrub. I hope he has a long, successful career. But I don't see it. Come on, stop. All right, stop. But that's really the key here. What is the plan? Are they going young or not? And I believe they're going young. I believe based on the contracts, based on the timeline, the Knicks timeline with the young players they have, they're going to go young. Because you now have RJ Barrett, who's going into his 4th season at age 22. You drafted him 3rd overall. Okay. You have Mitchell Robinson at age 24 going into his 5th season. This is where you start to push these kids and they're getting better. This is where you start giving them those minutes. You got Emmanuel Quickly, who you drafted out of University of Kentucky. If you see him as a point guard or you don't, you got to play him. You got to go forward with him or trade him, but you got to do something with him. You got Deuce McBride, who you pushed to get Tom Thibodeau. You pushed for him. You better play him. And you admitted this year you should have played him more. He admitted that. That's what Berman said. So, you got to play him some more. And some of y'all, and then, please don't come at me with, he's only 6'1" or 6'1.5". Again, please think a little bit before you run your mouths, man. What you think? They didn't know how tall he was when they drafted him? What you think? They didn't work him out? They didn't see all of those scenarios before they drafted him? What you think? He Fred Weiss? Stop. Come on, man. Some of y'all... See, I could tell some of y'all are casual fans that have strong opinions, and some of y'all are fans that really study the Knicks and know what's going on. The casual fans have strong opinions, like I always tell, because they come up with the dumbest trades, and they say the dumbest things, like as if the Knicks didn't scout these guys and know who they were getting. Anyway, what is the plan? That's what we need to know. I would like to hear from Leon Rose some more on this, although realistically, I don't expect we're going to. We're not going to hear from anybody. Thibodeau know how to talk sideways. He does. He has learned how to talk sideways to the New York media and give you no information. And so I think that's what we're going to see. Now, it depends now. I'm going to tell you something right now. Small chance that the Knicks get into the top 4. Small chance. If they did, you're going to see some stuff. Then you're going to know for sure what they're doing. If they get into the top 4 and the word comes out, they're going to draft any of them guys. I don't care if it's Ivy, Holmgren, Banchero, or Smith. And those are your top 4. I don't know what the order is, but that's your top 4. If they get in that top 4, there's going to be trades. Period. And you're going to know what they're doing. Okay? Whether they trade the pick or whether they get the pick, keep it, and build on it, which means they're going to trade some people. There's no doubt. Okay. And I tend to think regardless anyway, if they stay at 11, they're going to trade some people. Because like I said, Jeremy Sohan to me is our guy, which means you got to trade Julius Randle. So I'm seeing that. Unless they decide to play Sohan in the G League, they could do that too and keep Julius and keep Obi and keep the same crap going on. You could do that and decide to play Sohan in the G League for a year before you trade Julius next summer. You could do that. Okay. But let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. But I just, I'm decided in my mind that based on what the comments that were made at the end of the season, the things that Berman also revealed from Thibodeau and from the people inside, as well as Leon Rose's public statements, I think they're going young. And if they're going young, commit to it. Don't half-ass it. Commit to it. Okay, commit to it. Don't halfway talk about we're gonna get Donovan Mitchell and then talk about going young. You got to commit to something. Okay, yeah, Donovan Mitchell's 25, but you don't count him as a regular young player. He's an All NBA player. He's a superstar. Okay, so you either committing to the youth or you not. When you committing to the youth, you're not spending that kind of money. You're not spending 40 million a year, 30 million a year, whatever. Okay, so we just need to see what they're doing. If they half behind do it like they did last year, we're going to have a problem, y'all. We're going to have a problem. And that's on Leon. This is not on Thibodeau. Thibodeau has a say in personnel except when Leon decides he doesn't. Like Thibodeau had no say in them getting Kemba Walker. He did not want Kemba Walker. He had no say in them getting Cam Reddish. He did not want Cam Reddish. So you can see by those two examples that there are scenarios where Leon will say, this is my decision. Done. Okay? So if Leon decides he's going young core, Tom ain't got nothing to say about it. Except yes. Okay. Because it's Leon's decision. Okay? They do involve, obviously, Tom Thibodeau, again, he pushed for Grimes as well as Deuce. So obviously they get his input on certain moves. But when it comes to the direction of the team, that's on Leon. What is the long-term plan for the New York Knicks as an organization? That's Leon's job. That's his job. And he can't do it halfway. He's got to decide. He's got to make it establishedly known. This is what we're doing. Okay? And that's what we're looking for. And I think the draft is going to tell us a lot about that. And that's why I'm very interested to see not only where the Knicks draft. Again, I'm expecting it to be at 11, but where they draft. And who's drafting ahead of them and what the Knicks are looking for in the draft. It'll tell us a lot about what they're deciding to do. Also, update on Joko Bidas. So apparently, they're not bringing Joko Bidas over this summer. They're stashing him in Europe for another year. Fine. That's cool. Because you know what? I want to see Deuce and Grimes do their thing this summer. I want to see both of them. It'll be Deuce, Grimes, Sims. And whoever the rookie we get is this summer. Okay. And I'm really wanting to see that, because IQ and Obi are done with summer league stuff now. I mean, Obi's going into his third season and so is IQ. They would not or should not be playing in the summer league, but Deuce, Jericho, Quentin, and whoever the new rookie is, especially if we get my man Sohan, this is going to be fun to watch. But Joko Bidas is not going to be here this summer. Apparently, there's a money issue because they have to pay him a minimum of $1 million, and there's some issue with that. And they got to buy out his team. There's all kind of financial implications. Again, this is the business of basketball, so he'll stay over there another year. Apparently, his team is in the Final Four in that league over there. They're playing really good, and of course, he's playing really good. I like Joko Bidas. He's at least going to be a solid pro. I think. He may even be better than that, but we'll find out, as we get closer. But I like the kid. I liked him last summer when he came and played. He got that court savvy. He got that thing. He's confident. He got game. So I like him. Okay. So, it's good. They're going to stash and bring him along next year. Fine. At least they established a plan. See that? We know what's happening. There's no surprises. Cool. Okay. Let's do that with the rest of the team. Y'all have a good day today, good Tuesday. Some of y'all we will see tonight at 7:45 when we start getting ready for the draft lottery. It's going to be lit. So let's hope maybe they can get in the top 4. Shalom.